Welcome to Shuffling in the Shadows. My name is Courtnie. I am the owner and founder of TuckedinTarot, and this podcast is acting as my tarot journal. So what will take place is I will be sharing with you the tarot card I am pulling for advice. I will be giving you the light and shadow aspects of the card and my interpretation of it, and then explaining and showing you all how I'm actually applying the messages to my life to make some changes, to make things better. And to start off with the very first episode, we are going to be looking at the Fool card. So I welcome you to Shuffling in the Shadows. So sit back, relax, and let's get started. All right, so we're actually going to start with the shadow side, or the shadow aspect of the Fool card, and how I am interpreting it. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what I mean by the shadow side, this would be more of like the negative characteristics of the card. These are the not so great things, or the things that we suppress when this card shows up. Now, for myself, I am not going to lie. 2 years ago, I despised this card. Absolutely hated it. It was gut-wrenching to see this card pull up in any reading, whether it was for myself, for someone else, if I was observing a reading. It was painful. And it's because I associated this card with someone that I had a very intimate relationship with, and they adored the Fool. They saw themselves as the figure represented in the Fool. They got excited at the idea of something new, something fresh, a new beginning, taking that leap of faith and just leaving things behind. And as they were telling me this, there was something in my spirit that just did not sit right when they were explaining this. And I wound up being on the receiving end of them wanting something new and something fresh. But what they failed to realize, or hell, maybe they even did realize it, I don't know. But what I saw was that their new opportunities always came at a point when it was a fear-based decision, when it felt like the world was closing in on them and they started to feel trapped, or they were burdened by responsibility. And you know what? I can't fault them, because I've been there, and I'm sure you have been there as well. But when I saw it, and when I went through that disappointment with that person, and now that dynamic and situation is now associated with that card, I saw it, as frivolity. I saw escapism. I saw cowardice. So, not great. Wasn't great. But as I developed my practice and my study with the tarot and started to do some self-reflection, I realized that I represented and practiced those exact characteristics. I was running, I was escaping, and there were plenty of moments where I just felt like there was just so much weight around me. But instead of running, I remained stuck and decided, you know what, it's probably better if I'm not seen, if I'm not heard, because then I can bury the stress and I can bury the shame of not being successful and not being happy. And I can fake it when I need to be, so that way people don't worry or they don't know. But that came crumbling down as well too. And my escapism and my cowardice was in hiding myself. And that actually is the reason why I titled this podcast Shuffling in the Shadows, because a lot of my practice was because I was hiding. And tarot, during that hermit mode and during those fear based decisions, I just wanted answers. I wanted something that was going to give me some direction, and it did. And it helped me to find my purpose. But it was dark and it was lonely. And there were things about myself that I actually had to come to terms with. And there were things about other people that I had to come to terms with. And a lot of it was done by myself. So, with the needing to run and not wanting to be seen, it also really slowed down my progress with even in my own business. And I love what I do. I love teaching. I love reading tarot for other people. I love empowering anyone that I come across. But I was finding I was having a hard time doing that for myself. And why? Because I was afraid of what people were going to say and how I was going to be received. Because in my circle and with the people that I was working with, I already knew that they liked me. I already knew that they trusted me and that they respected what I did and saw value in it. But it was those outside of that circle, and that even includes friends and family. And so I decided to shrink back. And I wasn't marketing myself in the way that I should have. I wasn't talking about my business. And it was always, oh, in due time, you got to take it slow and da 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 da. But all that did was create a loop of busy work instead of just putting the shit out there and just saying what was going to stick. And I mean, I love to plan. I love to make sure things are organized, and I love things to be beautiful. But my love for that aesthetic and to have something well crafted turned into an unhealthy need for perfectionism. And if I didn't like the way how I sounded or looked, I wasn't putting it out there. So then I tried to come up with other options that didn't require me to show my face and to have my voice heard. And that is so mean. That is so mean. And where did I pick that up from? Where did I learn that I had to be quiet and I had to lurk behind closed doors to be safe? And I do know, and there was always like these moments in romantic relationships and even with family or friends where I was hidden and I internalized a lot of that. But with the Fool card showing up today, it's allowing me to see those patterns that I've internalized that was gifted to me by these situations and these people. And I'm working on letting that go and taking that chance and stepping up and being seen and doing bold shit that I normally wouldn't have done. And it has been freeing, but that shadow side of that card was rough and it was scary. And if you are someone out there who feels the need to hide, don't. Because you will find your people. And even if you don't, at least you found yourself. And that feels really, really fucking good. All right, so now we are going to look at the light side of the Fool card. And I typically use the Rider Waite Smith. So the Fool is depicted as someone who is walking towards the cliff's edge. But what stood out to me during this reading was their body language and their positioning and how open they are in their body language. Like their arms are spread out, their head is like facing up towards the sky, and they're not even looking where they're stepping, but they still look so self-assured and confident and relaxed and poised. And damn it, I want to be that so bad. So bad. I have spent so much of my life being rigid and kind of closed off and needing to always be so serious, right? And the playful side of myself gets a little bit lost. I would even say I'm kind of intimidated by that side of me. And I think it's because I was so used to always taking on responsibility. And for myself this year, I am making it a point to experience pleasure and play in a variety of different ways and allowing it to reach me and find me in all areas of my life. And that's what that Fool card represents. Because if you're someone who actually enjoys what they're doing, and there's almost like a hedonistic quality I think I'm searching for that I have pushed away because I thought it was selfish. And I have been told in the past that my pleasure and what I want and what's good for me and what is fun is selfish and irresponsible. And there is only a time and a place after hard work and suffering. Why do I have to suffer to enjoy my life? Because if all I know is suffering, I'm not going to be able to accept the pleasure that is coming. And that actually was a part of the loop and the cycle that I found myself in. I couldn't enjoy the good things. And I don't want to live my life that way anymore. Now, another thing with the Fool card is that there's a bit of magnetism with this figure. They, for me, represent that person who can walk in a room and they are so electric and they're so alluring that they can make conversation stop. They can make heads turn without doing a thing. And it's because their energy is so vibrant and so confident and welcoming in a way that people are just naturally drawn to it. And instead of wanting to rush to you, they take that moment to take you in. And it's like they almost forget to breathe when you walk in. It's, oh my God, it just sounds so romantic. And I had to be really honest with myself. And I encourage anyone and everyone to be honest with yourself. And if that is something that you desire, admit it. Because that's what I want. I like being able to walk into a room and have those moments. And those moments for me have come and gone. And I'm not going to lie, I ate it up. But there was also that other part of me that felt like I needed to push that away. I wasn't fully accepting of it. And I think it was because I wasn't able to read what was happening. And I have a very distinct memory of the very first time I experienced something like that. I was 16 and I was visiting my grandparents in Colorado, and they had a friend who was having a pool party. And my grandparents had parked the car, and I guess they were grabbing like food or something. And they directed my brother and I to just go through the back gate into the backyard. They go, yeah, everyone's there. They know we're here. They're expecting you guys. Just go ahead and walk in. So we're like, okay. So I go walking through this back gate, and I step in, and that very thing I described happened. The conversation stopped, and everyone just stopped and looked at me. And I was taken aback, and I just kind of looked, going, okay, did I walk into the wrong backyard? What is happening? And at the same time, everyone just kind of took a breath and started gushing about how beautiful I was, and that I caught them off guard. And they just wanted to be around me. And then I felt more comfortable, and I was welcomed, and it wasn't weird or creepy, but it was that moment of actually being able to make people awestruck. And I wish I could have been more receptive to that and understood what was happening. And when I was looking at this full card and trying to figure out how I want to apply it, that's what I want, my magnetism back. I want to experience more often people like falling in love with me, and falling in love with the work that I do, and it being associated with that. But I want to be at a point in my life where I am so self assured and so confident that I can get those moments. Okay. Now, with this card, it also signals new beginnings. And that is currently where I'm at. My whole life within this last year has completely changed. I have moved more than I care to admit. But right now, I'm in a very little town in Tennessee where I don't really know anyone. I now know two whole people in this little city. And I made it a point to go out and just start networking. And I'm a tarot reader in the Bible Belt. So I already have some apprehension. But I said, fuck it, I'm just going to go and do it. So I did it. And I've met some wonderful people. But that moment of having someone awestruck about me happened. And it's because I was able to sit with myself and admit to myself that that's exactly what I wanted. And so I walked into this shop, and I got to talk to the store owner, and her and this client that was shopping around at the same time were just, oh my God, you are so beautiful. Oh my God, you have this energy. You just seem to just radiate. Oh my goodness, you came in at the right time. And they were just going off. And I was just looking at this going, this is what I've asked for. I can have this. I am actually receiving this. And it's because I decided to trust this new opportunity. I decided to not hide anymore. I decided to actually put myself out there. And it is happening so fast. I've only been networking in this area for 2 weeks, and things are unfolding in a way that I didn't think would be this easy. I wasn't I wasn't expecting people to be so receptive of me. And they are. And I'm finding that there is a need for what I do out here. And that is teaching tarot. And I've been stuck on my virtual platform, which I love. Like, that's where I started. I still have that going. But I needed to get out into the general public and get some face to face with people. And it's working, and I'm feeling so much better about myself. I'm actually starting to feel free and confident. And it's because I actually am following the message and the lesson of that Fool card, and I am embodying that magnetism and that confidence and that need to be carefree and just go with the flow and just see what happens. And I'm floored by my experience so far. And this is only the beginning. So, in conclusion, what I am experiencing with this Fool card and how I'm applying it, the biggest takeaway that I have is really how I'm feeling now. I'm not moving with as much fear. And there is this sense of like pressure that is starting to build, but it doesn't feel like it's coming from the outside and pushing in on me where I start to feel trapped. This feels like pressure is building within me, and I have this sense of I need to go, I need to do, I need to be, I need to explore, I need to make this work. I need to connect all of the dots. I need to experience all of the things. And it's exciting. And it's not preventing me from moving forward. And I'm really excited to actually be able to feel this for the first time and letting go of some of that fear and allowing myself to be seen and to be heard. And I'm excited to see how this all unfolds and to be able to share this with you. So I hope you enjoyed the tarot journey, and I hope you all will stick with me throughout this. And I hope you all are learning something as well, and you're able to apply some of these lessons by listening to my story and my experiences. If you are interested in learning tarot, practicing tarot, or would like to book classes with me, you can reach out to me on tuckedintarot.com where you can book your sessions there. I also run an online community on Meetup, and that's meetup.com/tuckedintarot. And for the online community, we do have tarot, but I also have practitioners who teach you Reiki. We have a dream interpretation. We also have a women's circle meditation. There is a ton of things on there to do. And to join that, it is a $10 membership a month, and it's well worth it. But I do thank you for your time. And again, welcome to Shuffling in the Shadows. I will see you next time.